Mango 7 Roll here. How are we doing today? Welcome to episode 1 of Mango Relearns How to Play Fire Emblem Heroes. I don't know a lot about this game. I screw up so much when I'm playing on stream, and I'm tired of it. I want to learn every single mechanic in this entire game. I want to know exactly what's going to happen. I want to be able to help people and tell them what's going to happen. So we're going to do this with this little series, so far titled Mango Learns How to Play Fire Emblem Heroes. But this is episode 1, and we're going to start from the very beginning. And I obviously know the vast majority of these, but these are for the people who are really new players. And I do get these questions on a regular basis. So if I help even a small subset of people, I'm really happy. Hopefully the later editions of this series will help out even experienced players. But for now, we're going to start off with the first one. And we're going to take a look at stats. The most important thing in the game that you kind of have to fully understand to be able to play this game effectively. So just as a reminder, this is set for entirely new players, so we're going to start from the very beginning. So somebody who fully doesn't understand the game, and to be honest, before I really realized how the calculations worked, I didn't fully understand these stats either. So it's fair to say that there's got to be a lot of people out there who don't. So first off is the obvious one, your hit points, your HP. Once you take that down to 0, you are going to be 100% dead. Attack is how much damage you do. Generally one of the best stats to have, just since it's always good. You're almost always attacking. And that's compared with your opponent's stats, and then it decides how much damage you do. Speed is kind of the confusing one, and one of the ones I didn't understand until I looked at it. If you have 5 or more speed than the enemy, you're going to attack twice, which means you're basically doing double damage, which is absolutely huge. If you have 5 less speed than the enemy, you're going to get attacked twice, which is absolutely terrible, and you don't want that to happen in 99% of cases. If you're in that +4 to -4 range, so if you're both at 31 speed, neither of you is going to double each other, and then you're all golden. Defense is used for physical damage dealers, not magic. So if you are attacked by a physical damage dealer, their attack is compared to your defense, and then the difference is how much damage you take. The same is the exact same as for resistance, where magical dealers compare to their attack to your resistance, and you take the difference of damage. So just before we get in here, I want to make it entirely clear that boons and banes are not the be-all end-all of your units. There are so many good and bad banes that work no problem that it really doesn't matter. Yes, it's unfortunate if your IVs are not what you want them to, and if you're hoping for plus attack and you got minus attack, yes, that sucks, but your character is still entirely usable, so keep your head up for that. I know a lot of people get really demoralized when they finally summon the unit they're going for, including me, and get the minus defense when they want plus defense or something like that, but just, it's going to happen a lot, so keep your head up and don't worry about it. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of not so much fun in this game, lamenting over your bad IVs. So just some backup information here. We can Google FE Heroes Game Press Lucas, and I know a lot of people don't like using Game Press for certain reasons, but just to give you an example here, we can load up Lucas's webpage here, and it has a general recommendation for IVs. The green is good, the red is bad, and the yellow is neutral. It then gives you some information on which IVs are good and which do what for that unit. Granted, this is not 100% correct, and it is very often wrong, so this is just a good baseline. Don't use this as a be-all, end-all of how to build a unit or how a certain IV affects a unit, and especially for ones that aren't used as often because they're not updated as much. So definitely keep this as a tool to use in the future, but don't use it as a Bible per se. So now that we have the basic stats out of the way here, let's take a look at how to kind of figure out which boons and banes your unit has. And each unit has 1 boon and 1 bane, or it's entirely possible to be completely neutral, so 0 boons and 0 banes. So take a look at this Lucas here. What we want to do is just Google FE Heroes Lucas. It's literally all I typed, FE Heroes Lucas, and the first hit here is a Gamepedia. You can use Gamepedia, Game Press, any one of 1,000 different sites, but I usually just go with the first hit. So Lucas here, mine has 20 HP, and we want to compare it to these values here as a 5-star unit, so we want to compare it to this. we have 20 HP, so we can see the first one here. The range is 18, 19, or 20. 18 is going to be the Bane, 19 is going to be neutral, and 20 is going to be the boon. So ours is 20, which means it's the boon in HP. That means we can expect something else in his stat list to be -1 stat. We have 20 attack, and this is the confusing one. I think this is why I get so many people sending me screenshots of their units asking me to figure out what it is, because they can't calculate the attack in. So the way we do it, we have one choice, and that's unequip everything and then check. But the easier choice is just do some math here. And Killer Lance Plus has 11 might. If you click on it, you can see that there. You subtract that 11 might from 20, that gives me 9. That means his base attack is 9 here. And as you can see from the stats right here, that is neutral. He has 5 speed in neutral, and ours is 5 speed. Ours has 9 defense, so we can see that ours has a Bane in defense. And then 4 resistance. So ours is plus HP minus defense for Lucas. And we can also take a look at his maximum stats right here. And this will give you an idea of what he will look at level 40. One interesting thing to see is his total stats on the right can vary. It's 156 to 157. This means somewhere in the range of stats there is a super boon or a super bane, and this means instead of getting the usual +3 attack or +3 of any stat, you will get a +4 instead, and the same goes towards his banes, where he will get a -4 instead of the usual -3. So we can see here that his resistance is the minus bane. That means you get -4 resistance instead of -3. So that's another thing to keep in note, because some units are really dragged down by this. If their attack is a minus bane, for example, and they get -4 attack, that really makes it really unfortunate to use. So next step, we're going to take a look at a level 40 Lucas. We'll use the same Lucas just to kind of see here and see how to check his IVs at 40. So ours here has a bunch of stuff on it. It's got Fortress Defense on, it's got Threaten Attack, and it's got Initiate Seal Defense, Killer Lance, all these things. It's going to be way too hard to figure out his IVs, because if you look at these stats, they're going to be so different because of everything on them. So what we're going to do to fix that and make it easier is go to Lucas if we can find him. There he is, and then we're just going to double click all these stats and unequip everything. Specifically Fortress Defense is what is causing the problems. And now we can see here that he's got nothing on except for the seal, so we'll just -1 defense from his defense here. So one more thing I want to show you, and this is if you've already started leveling your character and your character is not 5 stars. So if your character is 1, 2, 3, or 4 star and you've already started leveling them, this is how you can figure it out. I think this is where people are getting caught, because they started leveling 4 star and they can't figure out their IVs because it's not level 1 and it's not level 40, and they don't want to level it up. So the way we do this is, let's find our Hanada, and we're looking at Hanada on the left side here. And we're going to start off by unequipping Hanada's skills, just to make it easier for us here, especially since he has Fury on. Oh, right, he's not level 40, he's level 34, so we'll unequip Mr. Hanada's sword, we'll unequip his Fury. And then what we want to do to find out his IVs, we go to Allies here, go to Advanced Growth, go to Unlock Potential, and let's find our Hanada. And do not go through with this, you're just testing the waters. So go in and hit next, and do not hit confirm unless you want to promote your Hanada to 5 star. And then what this does is show what it'll look like after you unlock their potential, which is of course level 1. We can then compare his level 1 stats to the 5 star on the left here, and you see ours has 21 HP, which is neutral. It has 8 attack, which is neutral. It has 4 speed, which is minus speed. It has 10 defense, which is neutral, and it has 4 res, which is plus res. So, and then we can now see our Hanada is plus res minus speed, which is a really good way of figuring this out. Anyway, that's the first very basic episode of how Mango plays Fire Emblem Heroes. At one point in time, I had to figure this out myself, and I didn't know, so hopefully I helped one of you out. Anyway, have a wonderful day. If this helped you out, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what else you'd like to see in the future. We're going to look at basic damage calculations, since that's something you really need to know. You need to not just throw your unit in front and have it die like I do all the time. and a couple other things we're going to look at soon. AI manipulation, too, is very important. Anyway, have a wonderful day. See all y'all next time.